Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tech for Senior. I'm so glad you're here today because we've got a really fun topic lined up. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. We're going to explore how technology can make your favorite hobbies easier, more exciting, and even more personalized. Whether you're in love with gardening, cooking, reading, painting, or simply staying connected with friends, there's tech out there designed to enrich those activities. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's dive in. Gardening with tech. Let's get started with something a lot of us enjoy, and that's gardening. Now, sometimes it's hard to know if our plants are thirsty, if they're getting enough sunlight, or if we're overwatering them. Well, technology has an answer. There are smart plant sensors you can stick right in the soil. These little devices measure the moisture, the sunlight, and even temperature. Then they send an alert to your smartphone and you'll know exactly what your plants need care. You can also use gardening apps to send reminders like, hey, it's time to fertilize your tomatoes. And don't forget, you can ask Smart Assistant like Miss A or Miss G to remind you about watering days. Plus, YouTube has endless gardening tutorials from pruning roses to growing herbs in your kitchen. So even if you don't have a green thumb, technology can give you. So this year I was so excited. I planted rhubarb last year and I was going to have my first crop this year. So my rhubarb started to grow and it was great. You'll see here pictures of it in its early spring. And by June, it was going great. And then July came and it started to die. And I kept watering it and I was wondering if it got root rot. I could not understand why it was dying. So I enlisted the help of ChatGPT. I took a picture of it, and here is the picture of my few new shoots that were starting to grow, and you can see it's full of holes. So I uploaded this to ChatGPT and asked it, based on the picture of my rhubarb, what is going on? Help! And so they came up. Of course, they knew where I was. They knew my location and what would be the local endemic problems with rhubarb. And they came up with, of course, flea beetles or slugs. And I found out that, of course, it was flea beetles. And they recommended a treatment, which, of course, if you come down here, you'll see that it was it's, of course, insecticidal soap. And I had some that I'd used prior years on different plants, and I'd forgot it usually occurred in early July. So I've treated it. It's coming back, and things are looking better, and maybe I'll get another crop of my rhubarb before the end of the year. And that's how AI helped me with my gardening problem. It's great. Now, I know many of you love cooking, but sometimes keeping track of recipes, measurements, or timers can be a little bit tricky. Enter the digital kitchen helper. There are smart kitchen scales that measure ingredients down to the gram, so your recipes come out just right. Recipe apps like Paprika and All Recipes let you resize recipes. Want to make enough chili for 2 instead of 6? The app does the math for you. And if you don't want to touch your phone with sticky fingers, a smart display like the Google Nest Hub can show you a recipe step by step, hands-free. Oh, and there's one big piece of mind. The new stoves and appliances even have auto shut-off features, so you don't have to worry about accidentally leaving the burner on. Cooking with technology doesn't replace your skill, it just makes the kitchen safer and easier. So I've created a course for AI. This is for seniors. It starts very basic and tells you which AI you should use, how to use it, and it's all free. And I'm going to put the link in the description below, and feel free to enroll and take the course. In the course, I showed you how to search for baking tips. And it starts with what happens if you do a Google search and how maybe Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT could help you with your baking needs. So now I'm going to play a clip from episode 6 when we talk about using AI for search in helping you baking. So this is a good food tip. And if you want more, take the course. It's free of charge. All right, let's see what I have to say. All right, back in Google search, and let's say how to bake a chocolate cake. Let's do a Google search on that and see what we come up with. So Google search is going to give us 3 recipes. It's going to give us these 3 recipes here. It comes down to all recipes. It's going to give me some videos on how to bake a chocolate cake, how to bake a chocolate cake step by step, and it's going to give me some information here. So this is the information we'd get on a Google search. Let's see how ChatGPT does. Okay, let's have a look. It gives us the ingredients as we come down, and it'll show us for the cake all the things that we need. It's going to give us chocolate frosting. Ooh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about this. Chocolate frosting. It's going to tell us instructions how to prepare the cake batter, bake the cake, making the frosting, assemble the cake, and tips for success. And of course, you can copy these, print them, edit them, whatever you want. But looks sort of cool to me. Would you like any modifications, like a gluten-free or dairy-free version? Okay, let's see what Gemini has to say. So this is a bit interesting. Baking as a delicious chocolate cake can be a rewarding experience. Key elements for a great chocolate cake: general steps, combine dry ingredients, so on and so forth. And then it's going to give us some recommendation on certain websites where we can go and find a recipe. And I hope this information is helpful, but it actually didn't give me a recipe. Certainly wasn't as much information as ChatGPT. I wonder what Copilot will do. Let's have a look. Okay, Copilot, how to bake a chocolate cake. That was pretty quick. It did give us a recipe. It gave us the ingredients. It gave instructions on how to bake it. Optional frosting. Pro tip, try to add a pinch of espresso powder to the batter. So that was good. Let's wrap it up and see which one we like the best. So which one did I prefer? So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you did a Google search, it gave us some YouTube videos to watch to make a cake, and I'm sure they're very good. I think out of the 3 AI, I think that ChatGPT gave me the most information in a way that I would use it. I'd probably bake that recipe. It gave me some alternatives. I thought it was a really good summary of how to bake a chocolate cake. So my vote would go to the ChatGPT. Reading and lifelong learning. Now let's talk about reading and learning. Now, if you're like me, your eyes are not as sharp as they used to be. Reading fine print can be a challenge, but technology has solved that. E-readers like the Kindle let you change the font size and the brightness, so no more squinting. Better yet, you can borrow ebooks and audiobooks for free using library apps like Libby and Hoopla. That's right, straight from your local library without leaving home. And if you'd rather listen than read, your tablet or phone can read the books aloud with text-to-speech. Want to keep learning? There are online classes for just about anything: history, cooking, photography, and new languages. Sites like Coursera, Udemy, or your local senior center offer virtual workshops you can join from your living room. So whether it's novels, news, or new skill, you've got the world at your fingertips. So in episode 277th, and I'll put the link down below, I interviewed my daughter, Jennifer Brown, who's an educator, a teacher, and lives in Addis, Ethiopia. She recently researched e-readers and actually purchased a Kobo e-reader. I'm going to play a short clip of the interview I did a few weeks ago with her, She's going to talk a little bit about why she chose the Kobo reader. If you want to listen to the entire video, I'll put the link, as I said, below. So here's a short clip with my daughter talking about her Kobo reader.
So as my dad said, I am a Apple person. All my products are Apple. And when the concept of e-reading came out, so that's using a device to read, initially, like I guess maybe 15 years ago, I was against it. I was one of those people that said, I like a book in my hands. I want to flip the page, and I rejected e-readers for a really long time. I didn't want anything to do with them. But the reality of my lifestyle living overseas and moving means that at the end of the day, I have to put all these books into boxes. I also travel a lot, and so I have to, if I'm reading a book, then I have to put it in my carry-on bag, which I now share with my son, and that takes up space. So then over the years, I've tried different things. I've tried my iPad. I've used books on the iPad, and I've purchased books on there. But with the iPad, it was heavy, and so it was hard to like, this sounds very luxurious, but reading at a beach chair is very important. So, but holding up the iPad was too heavy. The iPad also, the screen doesn't do very well in light. So I trucked along with the iPad and read a few books and thought, well, it's okay, but it's not great. Then when we moved to Ethiopia, I joined some book clubs because I've gotten off of reading and I thought I'm going to read. I'm going to get back into reading. So again, trying to avoid an accumulation of books, I actually read a 700-page book on my phone, which was kind of handy because it's small and easy. So when I was in the lineup at the airport, I could pull out my phone and read it. But then my son likes to play games on my phone and when we're at the airport, and so I wouldn't have my phone all the time with me, so it wasn't super ideal. I also just don't like, sometimes I was at school eating my lunch and I don't like the look of like looking at my phone even though I'm reading a book, but so the phone wasn't good. So then, but I did really like the size of that. So then I fast forward to this year and I really got back into reading. But again, Addis, hard to find books. But then I also don't want to buy a $30 digital book. I don't like, I feel weird buying something for $30 and I don't even get to touch it. It just sits in my e-library in space. So I decided to commit to a better e-reader, and then I started my research into the Kindle versus Kobo. And really what it came down to is Kobo. Here's my nice little new Kobo. My Kobo is an open access device.
Staying social and playing games. Now, hobbies are fun alone, but they're even better when they're shared. Technology helps us contact like never before. There are Facebook groups and online clubs for just about any hobby. Want to talk gardening, knitting, or even old classic cars? There's a group for you. Video calls on Zoom make book clubs, art classes, or even language lessons possible without leaving your home. And for a little fun, brain games like Wordle or Sudoku apps or online bridge keep the mind sharp and connected with friends who like to play. You can even travel virtually. There are apps and websites that let you tour the Louvre in Paris, stroll through Yellowstone, or see the pyramids in Egypt, all from your own living room. So stay social. Learning and playing games has never been easier or more fun. So a few years ago, I did a 3-part series about using virtual reality with seniors. Yes, this is how seniors can actually use virtual reality to entertain themselves, to stay more in fit with exercises, and enjoy travel. Travel in virtual reality brings you back to areas that you never thought you'd be able to revisit. So I'm going to play you part of the video of the third episode. I'll put the link down below to the videos. Have a look at this and let it stimulate your interest. This is something that is really exciting, and the technology is changing rapidly. Have a look at this and consider it.
Now follow me as we go for a ride on my bike through the town of Comox, British Columbia. Let's start at my house and we're going to go for a little tour. Now you're going to have a lot of fun with virtual reality. Oh wow, there's the wow factor. For only $299, you are going to have so much fun. As seniors, we often have bad news, either with personal health with ourselves or with other people. So we need to laugh, we need to get out, we need to have some fun. And virtual reality certainly will give you the fun that you're going to have. Now, whether you want to take dance lessons, whether you want to go for a walk in Paris, or whether you want to visit a museum or cycle through Holland, it's all possible in virtual reality. Now, you're going to be able to communicate with friends. One of the great things about virtual reality is the ability to communicate from one person to the other in different locations. In virtual reality, where you actually think you're talking to someone and they're right there in the same room. It is so cool. You can enjoy lots of games. You can play table tennis. Maybe you want to play table tennis with another group. You have a group every Thursday that you play table tennis through. Again, all happens in virtual reality. So you're going to enjoy the games, you're going to socialize, and the other thing you're going to do is we're going to get you moving. As seniors, we have to keep moving. Remember the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we're going to shake it up, and we're going to show you how to do some moves today. Now we're going to show you, this is a bike. This is actually my daughter's bike. I borrowed it from her. And this is sitting in our exercise room, and you'll see it sits in front of a television. My goal was to have this mounted and to use it with my virtual reality headset on and to do some cycling. You'll see that it's an outdoor bike, but of course it's mounted on a stand. I should tell you that when you put a bike on a stand, it actually gets quite tall. So I need a little footstool there to help me get on and off. And the goal was that I was going to sit on this bike, put my virtual headset on, and cycle around the world and have some really cool fun with it. Now, this is the stand. The only equipment that I really needed was the stand to mount the back tire on. And this cost around $100, and it just clips onto the rear axle and is really not a problem to install at all. Very simple. Now, one thing that I want you to purchase if you are planning to do this is this little device made by Magene, M-A-G-E-N-E. And this is a little device, then you'll see it clips on the pedal there. And this is a Bluetooth connection that connects to the headset, the Oculus headset. And this allows the device to accurately decide how fast you're going. It converts your pedal rotations to speed. So the faster that you pedal, the faster you're going to go virtually, right? But without this, you can't do that. The pedaling wouldn't really count. So this is a way in which your pedaling links into virtual reality. These are very common. You can, this is $20 for one of these devices, and it just clips on the pedal. Now, I didn't find, after a while using the bike, I found a little uncomfortable. As you get older, sitting on a bicycle seat isn't great. And the other thing that happens is that, particularly for my wife who has some arthritis, she couldn't get on the bike. So the other thing that you can do is get a recumbent bike. This is the one I bought. This is about $300, and it's a recumbent bike, and it works great. It's comfortable. You can sit there, and you can do all the cycling with a recumbent bike.
I just finished my coffee. I'm sitting out here under the trees listening to the birds. Amazing the number of birds that are in your yard. It's really pretty crazy. I don't know if you ever sat and just listened. I have no idea how many birds are in our area, but there is an app from Cornell University, free. It's called Merlin. And as you see on the screen, you'll see these are all the different birds that I'm listening to. I didn't know there are that many. And you can even tell when they're actually talking to each other. You can see it highlights who's speaking. I guess everybody gets their turn, right? And so they're talking away, and I'm listening. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us what they're actually saying, but it is a great app to figure out what birds they are. You can either do it by identifying the audio to identify a bird, or you can take a picture of the bird, and then it will tell you what the bird is, and it's based on your location. It works all over the world in different areas. So when you're traveling and you're listening to interesting birds, just run Merlin and you can find out what those birds are. It's got an unlimited database, all free from Cornell University. Isn't that so cool? Very, very interesting app. Well, anyway, I guess it's time to head back in and finish off the video. Just get up here and we'll come back. This is sort of the view I'm looking at on the front of our yard. I live in Comox, British Columbia. I should probably identified. So off we come back into the office and we'll finish up this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. All right, let's wrap this up. So there you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 technologies that can personalize your hobbies and make them more enjoyable. From gardening with smart sensors to cooking with recipe apps, or from reading an e-reader to painting on a tablet, and social clubs online to playing games with friends, and there's truly something for everyone. The best part is you don't have to learn it all at once. Start small, pick one app or one gadget and give it a try. Before you know it, you'll see just how much these tools can enrich your hobbies and your daily life. Well, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Take some time in life, enjoy your hobbies, but always remember you can get better value with technology. Try some of the things in the video today, and remember, like and subscribe, and we'll notify you when we have our next video out. Till I see you again, have a great day.